Hey everybody, I'm Jack with Future Pastimes. It's time for the Alien of the Month from Cosmic Encounter for the month of July 2024. Now this is an alien that comes from Cosmic Conflict, which was the second expansion in the Fantasy Flight edition of Cosmic Encounter. It is I think it's a fan favorite. I think it's an alien that is a lot of fun. I think it's what Locust, which is an alien from the first expansion, was kind of supposed to be in terms of effect and tension and thematic silliness. And that alien is the Claw. This is just a terrific design. It's a lot of fun, and it's got possibly the greatest artwork in the whole game. This is a Ryan Barger. He did the Leviathan artwork, which is also from the first expansion, and Claw is putting Leviathan to shame, putting him in his place, or taking him home as a prize, depending on how you want to look at it. So let's take a look at what the Claw does and why I think it's so great. So this alien has game setup text. You're going to choose a non-negotiate card from your starting hand, and you're going to call that your Claw, put it face down on the sheet, and then you're going to draw a replacement card from the deck. So you're picking out what is going to be your Claw, and you're secretly putting it face down on your sheet. You have the power of the Claw. Your Claw is not considered part of your hand. Other players may not look at it or draw it. At the start of any regroup phase, you may swap a card from your hand with your Claw. Now, it's important to note, it didn't really say this on here, but it is clarified in the FAQ. A negotiate card can never be the Claw. And you'll see why here in just a moment. Once per encounter, when another player plays another copy of the card, and really should be reveals, could be play or reveal, copy of the card that you have chosen as your Claw, use this power and reveal your Claw. After the end of the current encounter, choose a planet in that player's home system and move it to your home system, sending any ships on it to the warp and making it a new home planet for yourself, although you do not get to establish a colony on it. Then return your Claw card to your hand and choose a card from your hand to become your new Claw. And it could be the same card. Each stolen planet in your home system counts as a foreign colony towards your win. So it doesn't matter if you have any ships on it or not. The planet counts as a home colony for you, even if it is inhabited by other players. If you gain a colony on a stolen planet in your home system, then that colony counts as a home colony for you, not a foreign colony. So you don't want to put any of your ships on these home planets because there's just a nice free foreign colony for you. So that's the effects for the Claw. So it's very powerful, but it's very situational. It just really depends on what card. So a good card, it's going to be something that you know other people are going to play. Maybe a Cosmic Zap or a Card Zap makes a good Claw. Maybe they attack 8 since it's the most common attack number, although people are never excited about playing the 8. But, you know, if if the Joker is in the game, it makes a great first card to be your Claw, at least until Joker changes it. And what they change it to, that could also be an interesting, we're going to make this other attack card wild. You're looking through your hand. Do I have that attack card? So yeah, it doesn't have to be an attack card. It can be an artifact. It could be a reinforcement. I saw somebody use a reinforcement +3 as their Claw. Reinforcements are very likely to be played, and there's a couple of the lower numbered ones as well. So obviously you don't want to pick something that there's only one copy of. You don't want to play, Intimidate -9. No one else is going to be revealing that. And it's got to be a copy of it. So the morph, you can have a morph as your Claw, but somebody else would have to reveal a morph. Now, and so it doesn't really, if a card gets turned into something. So let's say that Tripler's in the game and they're turning a 30 into a 10. Your 10 is not going to work. But if they have a 10 that's going to turn into a 30, that 10, if you have a 10, that works just fine. So some little nuances there in making sure it works, which is certainly not clear from the text as written. But over the years, we've been able to piece together design intent and figure out how it's supposed to work. So no negotiate cards, because that would just trigger way too often. And you could just keep playing it down there and That's not really what it was intended to do. But I think it's very powerful. I've seen a game where the claw clawed 3 times. They ended up getting 3, and that won them the game. That third planet that they clawed was their 5th colony, and nobody had a zap. They couldn't do anything about it, and it was glorious. And I wish that I had been the claw in that game, but I was not. But I certainly didn't mind losing under those circumstances. So when a claw is in the game, you will often get 1 clawing of a planet. And if the claw is really lucky, they'll get 2. I've seen the claw in a game where nobody revealed a card matching the claw. So you do have to be very careful. And of course, you're stuck with whatever you've got in your starting hand for your first claw. You know, you can change it later on. So, yeah, it's, but it's really going to depend. Claw works more often in a higher player count, I find, because there's, you're not forced to go through the hands as quickly. So maybe that would work out the other way too. But I've just found that I play like a 6 or 7 player game. The claw is firing all the time. At 4 or 5, not as much. So I don't know. Maybe there's some science behind that. Maybe it was just luck, bad luck, or good luck, depending on how you want to look at it. But yeah, so let me know your thoughts. What do you think of the claw? I mentioned earlier, the locust. Locust was this whole thing where they were going to devour planets, and it just because it had to be in the hyperspace gate by themselves, and they were usually facing everybody else. They were just not getting to use their effect. Now, the alternate timeline Locust from Cosmic Odyssey does get to fire more often because they can have the allies, and I've seen it used very effectively over the years. And so, yeah, Locust, I remember when everybody first read Locust, they were all like, oh, this is great, it's so scary. But it just didn't really live up to expectations. But Kevin Wilson really loved that effect. We've got the individual planets. You want to have effects that play around with it. And the Claw was able to do it. So knocked it out of the park with the second go around. And I love the Claw. And I love that the artwork connects to another alien. And the Leviathan is a funny alien to affect by it because it's its own planet manipulating alien that's supposed to be just so big. It's as big as a planet. And so yeah, it's great. It makes sense because that's what the Claw's doing. It's grabbing planets. So I think it works out. It's a great mix of things, and it's probably the alien that looks the most like it's supposed to. So if you remember that video. Well, that's it for this one. Thanks, everybody, for watching the Alien of the Month. Let me know your thoughts about it and any funny Claw stories that you've got to share. I definitely want to hear them. That's it for this one, and we'll see you again soon.